Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So, good morning all. I will share the screen. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's start the points which is remaining from the branching statements and looping statement. So control statement chapter, we have divided into two parts. First, branching statements, and second one, looping or iterative statements. Okay, so in the branching statement, there are number of problems based on the control statement. So where to use branching statements and where to use looping statement, that is the important point. So when we have to use branching statement, if the problem statement contains different branches and we have to select only one of them, then we have to use branching statements like if else, nested if else, ladder, or switch case. So for example, if user enters three different numbers and we have to find which one is the max. So if user enters A, B, and C, these three numbers. So what is the output? A is max, B is max, or C is max. So there are total three branches. And out of these three branches, we have to select only one at a time. So that type of problem statement we have to solve using branching. While looping statements like while, do while, for loop. When we use the looping statements, if our problem statement contains some statements which have repeatedly used. For example, you have to print hello 10 times. So same hello we have to print 10 times. So use loop. Or some pattern is there, the statements having same pattern, and that same pattern statements we have to execute multiple time, then that time we have to use looping. So branching, if multiple branch are there and out of that only one branch we have to select at a time, then branching statements like if else we have to use. Looping statements when we have executes same statements repeatedly, or some pattern statements repeatedly having some condition, then we have to use loops. Okay, great. So let's take some examples based on looping. Actually we have taken some one example how to find max between three numbers at last lecture. So today we will find how to problem solving, how to solve the problems, okay, using different logic. So I have created one new source file. Okay, so documentation section, what we have, first statement, what first problem statement, that is, okay, we have to take one problem statement and we have explain it using different ways. So first problem statement, that is uh, find sum of first 10 natural numbers. Okay, great. So finding sum of first 10 natural numbers. So how we can find it? Using any loop. You can use any loop, while, do while, or for loop. We can solve it using any loop. So first find sum of 10 natural numbers. So what is meaning of that? So first 10 natural numbers means first is 1, then addition with 2, then add with 3. Similarly, till 10 we have to add and make the addition like this. Okay, so we want to display what is the addition of first 10 natural numbers. So first decision, is it branching statement or it is looping statement? First, we have to decide that this problem statement we have to solve using branching statement or looping statement. So here same process means 1 is added with 2, then again this sum is added with 3. Then that means same statements are repeatedly work till the condition. What is the condition? Till 10. So there is no branch. So this type of problem statement we have to execute using or solve using loops only. So there is freedom. You have used any type of loop. Okay. So after this, we have include header file session, that is std io.h. Okay. Guys, screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Next, int main function, then curly brackets, body of main function. Now we have write body of main function. So first, how output get displayed on the console? Okay, so first statement, I will create new source file for that. How output get displayed on the console? So output is like this. That means sum of first 10 natural numbers are, and whatever may be the sum we have to display here. So this is the output expected on the console. So as per this, we have to write our code. So first statement, what is the first statement? Loop. You can use any type of loop. So here I will use first while loop. Which loop? While loop. So syntax of the while loop: while keyword, then inside the parenthesis, rounded brackets are called as the parenthesis, curly brackets and triangular brackets. So parenthesis means rounded brackets, and square bracket, always know this is the square bracket. Square bracket is called as subscript operator. Square bracket is called as subscript operator, and these rounded brackets are called as parenthesis. So inside the parenthesis there is a condition. Always first write the structure of any loop. So here structure of the while loop, it is syntactically correct. Then we have decide the body first. What is the body? We have to focus on the body. What is the body of this while loop? And then decide the condition. So this is the process of solving programs or problems based on C language. Now what we have to do? So we have to add these numbers from starting from 1 to 3. So take one number, integer I, and assign first value to that. So initially I is a variable having value 1. Here what we have to do, we have to add sum is equal to sum plus I. Means what? First we have to add 1 with the sum, and initially that sum having value 0. So initial value of the sum variable is a 0. So 0 plus 1, it becomes 1, and that value is saved in the intermediate variable sum itself. So what happens? Initially sum is 0 plus 1, it becomes 1. Now same statement, this same statement we have to execute multiple times. But what is the change? We have to change the value of I. Currently it is 1. Now we have to add 2 in that. So how to add the 2? So we want to make I as a 2. That means we have to increment I. That is I is equal to 1. This is the algorithmic steps. So what is the first step? First you have to add 1, that is the first number, into the sum variable. Okay, and that same statement we have to repeat. But how to repeat it? Next time we want some pattern, that is next number of natural, which is 2. So increment I by 1. Great. Now decide the condition. Now decide the condition. What is the condition then? Till 10 I want to execute this while loop. So give the condition as I less than equal to 10. So if I becomes 10, it works. But if I becomes 11, condition is false and the loop get terminated. So what is the condition? I less than equal to 10. We have to execute it. Great. Next. After executing this while loop, whatever may be the output, that is the find sum of first 10 natural numbers is saved into the sum variable. Now we have to display it. So what is the message on the console? So this is the message. Just copy this message, that is sum of first 10 natural numbers are. So we have to display this message. Okay. R percentage D, that is the value. So where is the value? In which variable? Sum variable. So write name of the variable as the same, sum. Okay. Next. Now last statement is main function having return type integer, so return 0. That means for our understanding purpose, that if function returns 0, then it successfully terminated the program. That is the meaning. And if there is any logical or runtime error and program terminates in between, then it returns other than the 0 value. So we understand that it is a logical error. Guys, understood? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's compile it. Before that, save this program. Give the name as a sum1. Then source as a C file, save as. Okay, so sum1.c. So this is the source code file. Now just compile it. There is no error, no warning. So we will execute it. And what is the result? Sum of first 10 natural numbers are 55. Great. So it is easy for us to find the addition of first 10 natural numbers. If you want to find addition of first 20 natural numbers, then just give 20 here, no change in the code, and save it, compile and run. So first 20 natural numbers, first 20 natural numbers are 210. You can cross verify it. Okay, so it gives the correct answer. So now we have to find addition of any natural numbers from starting from 1 to n. Okay, so we have to find. Great. Now the question arises. What is the question? Okay, at the time of interview, first they asked the question based on this. Now I have make them some condition on that. So same question, find the sum of first 10 natural numbers, but don't use any loop. That is the condition. Yes, guys. Now the problem. So you have your logic. Yes, logic does not get changed. But what is the condition? Don't use any loop. So you cannot use while, do while, or for loop. Without using any loop, we have to solve this code. Then tell me.
Means, sir, we should declare then one variable. Like there we declared in two variable, I and Sam. So while we are using not.
Now what is the question? Here we have to solve this problem using while loop. Now this code,
without while loop.
We don't use while loop. Means any loop. We cannot use any loop, and we have to solve it. Yes.
We will.
Yeah.
The statement number 8 will be repeated till 20 times, sir. 20 times we will.
Okay,
wrote,
same
sir.
statement way. But if you want to same code, I want to print sum of first 1 lakh natural numbers. Then.
No, sir. Sir, we should use the formula of summing natural numbers.
Okay, you want you can implement the formula. Yes. Then also, what is the condition? You don't use loop here. So How to solve it? So for that, we have to know the constraint. That is, we cannot use loops, but you can use branching statements. Is it possible by using branching statement?
Yes.
Suppose
Sir.
I want to use if statement. So if I less than equal to 20, print. So what happens here? If I write if instead of while loop, it gives correct output. So first 10 natural
No,
numbers
sir.
only. So it's just check. So compile it, then run it. So it gives you what? Some of the first 10 natural numbers are 1. No, it is wrong. That means we logically there is some error. Okay, this is logical error. Understood? Our logic get wrong because we want actually use while, but instead of while we can use if. What is the if execution of if? If statement first check the condition. If condition is true, then it executes the body of if, and after that immediately it goes to the next statement. Okay, that's why it prints sum is equal to 1 only. But what we required, we want if statement works as a loop like the previous one. That means while condition is true, entry to the loop, then again you can check the
Sir,
condition if
jumping
condition is true.
statement.
Sir, I think
Yeah,
we should call the
Jumping
main
statement.
function.
yes.
If we call
So,
the main function in the
yeah,
body of, if we call the main function, that will work.
okay.
Sir, by using jumping statement, sir.
So condition is that you have don't use recursion. Function calling itself means called as a recursion. We will see that part in the later on sessions, but don't use loops. Don't use recursion. Then, so in this type, what our concern, how to convert branching statement into looping statement. So there is one constraint called as goto. So how goto works? So goto works like this. Goto and label. Okay, so where you can write label, suppose you have to write label. So what happens? Goto statement is a unconditional jumping statement. Unconditional jump. So it jumps to the label to respective label. So it is called as forward jump. If you write the label after goto statement, then it is called as forward jumping. And if you write the label before goto, yes, it is also possible. Then it is called as backward jumping. Okay, so that is possible. So we have used this constraint only. Instead of while, we have write if. Other things, that is the algorithmic part, condition, everything is same. But after this, what is the problem? If is not executed like the loop, again this loop is not executed. So here you have to write go to L, go to, okay, go to L and write here L colon. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? This is unconditional jump. So this statement, when it executes, it is jump to the L label, and again this same thing is executed, and till what the condition is true. If condition is false, then it is exit from the if, so it goes to the next line. Guys, is it similar to loop now? Is
Yes,
it
sir.
similar to loop?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
it is
Yes.
now similar to loop. And now we have to check it and confirm our knowledge. Okay, so run it. Yes, first 10 natural numbers additions are 55. Yes, it is correct. So it gives you correct answer. Guys, understood? That means using go to statement, what we have to do? We have to convert branching statement into looping statement. Yes, understood? So
Yes,
number
sir.
of time at the time of technical interviews, some this type of tricky questions are asked. First, give simple question, simple. You thought that it is easy, so you have to done that. then they add the condition on that problem statement. So what is the good thing? You have know each and every constraint, how to solve, okay, and your logic is firm. That is you have logically or thinking, that is way of thinking, way of reasoning is required here in the programming skills while solving problems.
Sir, we can only do this with goto, or with continue we can also do it. I mean, we can only do this with goto statement.
You can go to,
I mean, we can, if you want to turn a condition statement into a loop, we can only do it with goto.
where?
Like here we use goto statement. Now, what
Yeah.
if we use what if we use here continue statement or break statement? We can do it with those two.
No. Continue. One rule. Continue and break statements we have used inside the loops only. Okay. We cannot use inside the if statement. We cannot write continue here or break here. Okay. We cannot write continue.
Okay, sir.
Yes, I will show you. Compile. It gives you syntactical error. What is the syntactical? Continue statement not within a loop. That is the grammar. You have grammatically strong knowledge of the C language as well as problem solving skills are there. That is a logic. If you both combination of that, then you are the good programmer. Understood?
Yes, sir.
What is the grammar? We cannot write continue or break statement inside the branching statements, means if else like this. Okay, so that is the rule. So this is the error, syntactical error. If this type of problem statement, this gives the syntactical error that continue statement not within a loop. We have to write it within a loop. Guys, but one thing. Suppose while one while okay, so what happens? What I have to do? I have to nest this branching statement inside the while loop. So is it now what syntactical error is there?
No, sir.
Yes, just check it, save it, then compile it. There is no compiler error, that is syntactical error. Because why? Then you ask, sir, what is your statement? What is the grammar of C language? That we cannot write continuous statement inside the branching statement. Yes, we cannot write. But now if statement is inside the loop statement. Okay. So if statement is inside the while loop statement, then this is the meaning that it is continue is within the while loop. So we can write it, because what is the meaning of continue? Skip the above statements and continue with this current loop. And break statement, what is the meaning of break statement? Meaning of break statement is you have to break the current loop. Okay, that's why while loop, continue statement and break statement we have to write only within the loops. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, when did you write go to and label go to L instead of continue? That means at line 14. Then this statement branched for 10 times, correct?
Yes.
But that label, how to know how many times it get executed?
Okay, so I will show you. First, I will remove the extra parts. For that purpose, you have to make the debugging. So here, what is the statement? Go to which label? L, and then semicolon. So it go to the this statement. Now your question is valid. till how many times it executes? Till the condition is true, because we have to increment the I value. So, okay, so for execution purpose, I have taken only 2. That means we have find the sum of first 2 natural numbers. That is how, what? 3. Okay. So I will give the, okay, before that, first compile. Okay. What is the mirror? Sum. Printf unknown type name sum. Expect identifier before return. Okay. Something. Yes, this is the extra. Okay. Extra curly bracket. Okay. Compile it. Okay, it's correct. Syntactically correct. Now, how it executes? For that, first compile it. Yes. Then give the toggle breakpoint and then use debug technique. Okay. So your debugging gets started and current output on the console or text mode window is null. Now you, if you want to watch, then select that variable, click on add, then watch for sum, then you. So initial value of I is equal to 0, initial value of sum is equal to 1. But till this statement is not executed, when you click on the new line, then this statement is executed. And now what is the value of current value of I? 1, and current value of sum is now 0. Now, what is the I current value of I? 1. 1 less than equal to 2. Condition true. True means entry to the body. So sum is executed. Sum 0 plus 1. It becomes 1. Next line. So current value of sum becomes 1. Now I is equal to I plus 1. Initial value of I is equal to 1. 1 plus 1, 2. So now I becomes 2. Next line. So it jumps to the label. Okay, so here is the label. So labels next line, it is executed. So what is the current value of I? 2. 2 less than equal to 2. Condition true because equal to is there. So next line, sum is equal to sum plus I. So sum is 1, I is equal to 2. Then it becomes 3. Sum becomes 3. Then I is equal to I plus 1. Current value of I is equal to 2. 2 plus 1, 3. Go to label. So 3 less than equal to 2. Condition false. That means does not goes to the entry of body of if. It directly goes to the printf statement. So next line goes to the printf. Then next line. So the output get displayed on the console. Yes. Sum of first 2 natural numbers is equal to 3. Yes, great. And return 0. You can stop the execution. Guys, hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is similar to loop. That means we have to convert any branching statement to the looping statement by using proper, but proper placement of the goto statement is required. Okay. If you write goto before this statement, it gives you wrong result. Or just, I will ask you, Control X, think on that. I plus plus is later on. And if I do that, what is the output of this program? Just think on that. What is the output of this program? Initial value sum 0 plus 1. It becomes 1. Go to L. It go 1 less than equal to 2. Condition true. Again this. Again this. What happens, guys? Infinite loop. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Just compile it and run it. No output is there because it is in the continuous loop. Understood the meaning? There is no output because cursor goes always from this go to L, go to L like this, and there is no execution of this print statement because we have not increment I. So we have to place I after sum is equal to sum plus I or before go to L. So this is called as the algorithmic steps. So algorithm is most important part. Okay, that is the way of thinking. Understood, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, great. Now I will ask one more question. There are lots of questions. Yes. So same question, same, that is previous one. Compile. And sum of first two natural numbers are, then save it, execute, compile and run. Check output is 3. Yes, it is correct. Now my question is, if I am writing operator less than equal to, instead of that I have write the equal less than. Great. Equal less than. So what is the output of this program? Lots of time this type of questions are asked in the time quiz, puzzles or interview also. Yes, what is the output of this program then? Program's output remains same or some difference is there?
Error.
Error is there. Okay. So let's check whether it gives a syntactical compiler error. Yes. Expression before less than. Okay, token. Because this operator does not exist in any language. This is the operator. Okay, comparison operator. And this comparison operator does not exist in any language. Operator is less than equal or greater than equal. But before equal, greater than, less than or equal, greater than, these operators does not exist. Understood? Yes, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so first less, then equal. Equal is always less than equal or greater than equal, not equal greater than or equal less than. It is not exist. These operators are not exist in any language. Now here in ANSI C, okay, it is a standard. ANSI, American National Standard Institute, gives some standardization to this previous traditional C language. But in traditional C, that is Turbo C, if you execute this, then this is not considered as a error. It is not considered as a error. So due to that logical error of, okay, runtime, that error get, because there is no proper output get displayed, but it is not considered as a syntactical error in traditional C language. That is when you run the program using Turbo C compiler. Okay? Yes, guys?
Yes,
sir.
Okay. Now we have take some MCQ type of questions based on loops, and then we will go for the problem solving again. So it is a mix type of session. Okay, let's remove all this part. Okay. Now tell me my first question, while 1 printf hello. Great. So what is the output of this program? What do you think?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
It's
Hello displayed on the console only once.
infinite term, sir.
Only once it is displayed on the console?
Infinite
Sir,
time.
no, sir.
Yes,
Infinite time.
infinite time hello get displayed. Just compile it. There is no syntactical error run. Okay. You have seen this screen which is moving infinitely. Hello, hello, hello is pressed on the console. Okay, or text mode window. Understood? If it is -6, what is the output?
Infinite. Hello.
Infinite hello. Just compile and run again. Great. Infinite. That is the meaning. When in the condition part in while loop, if you write any non-zero value, then it is considered as a true. It is considered as a true, and it gives entry to the body of while loop. But if it is 0, what is the output of this program?
Error.
None.
Hello,
Null.
one.
Null.
Hello 1. Hello.
Nothing will print.
Yes. First compile and run. You will got the address. There is nothing get displayed on the text mode window. Guys, understood the meaning?
Yes, sir.
Whenever there is a condition's result is calculated at the runtime. If it is true, then it gives 1 or any non-zero value, then it is a true value. And if it is 0, if the condition's value is calculated 0, then it is false. And cursor does not enters to the while loop, it goes outside the while loop. Great. Now, second, similar case for the do while. Same for do while. But do while, what happens? Just check. If 0.
Sir, it has one-time execution.
Yeah. What is the output of this program then? Because it is exit time condition checking loop. So when cursor goes first, it enters into the body of do while first, it prints hello on the console and then check the condition. Condition is false, so terminate the loop and goes to the return statement. But once the hello get print on the console. So just compile and run. Yes, it one time displayed. Okay, but if it is 1, then if it is 1, then infinite time. Just check. Infinitely, continuously, it is moving like this. Here is a cursor which is moving continuously. Okay, that is infinite time. But guys, if there are two options for this code, objective A, infinite time hello, this is the first option. B, hello get displayed on the console till output buffer get full. Suppose, and other options are also there. What is the other options? Suppose C is garbage value, D is syntax error. Okay, so which one is the correct?
Option B, sir.
Great. If there is no B option exist, then and then you have to tell that it is an infinite time hello get displayed on the console. But there is a second option. What is the second option? Hello get displayed on the console till output buffer get full. If output buffer get full, then means every display memory output device having its own buffered area, that is tiny memory. And if it is full, then the matter that is not displayed further on the screen. Understood the meaning? Yes?
Sir, what is the size of buffer, sir?
It depends.
How many times?
Oh, no. It depends on your computer device's configuration. Okay. Most of time it is greater. Now the devices are having much more memory. But if you start the computer at morning and still you have to put at it as it is, then after 10 hours, 18 hours or 20 hours, it is stopped. Okay, displaying hello on the console get stopped. Understood? That means
Yes,
its output buffer get full. Guys, hope you
Okay,
understand and
Yes, sir.
enjoying the lecture. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now another tricky question. This is completed. Okay, now the question is regarding for loop. Now while, do while, okay, it's over. Then for loop. For loop, what is the syntax of for loop? For first is initialization,
Condition.
then semicolon, then condition, or it is called as expression, and then reinitialization. Reinitialization means what? it is maybe increment decrement operator. Most of time we have used increment decrement operators, that is I plus plus, I minus minus, J plus plus, like this. Okay, so this is the general syntax and this is the body of for loop. Okay, so I will write like this. If I write, don't write anything, just one in the condition part. So what is the output of this program? Here there is no initialization, no reinitialization, only in the condition one is there. Yes.
Infinite time hello.
Infinite times. Okay, remove this colon. Only understood. After do while loop, there is a semicolon. For loop and while loop, at the end of this, there is no semicolon exist. Okay, for loop and while loop. Do while loop, there is a semicolon after do while. Okay, so
Sir,
infinite time, yes.
Sir, it is but finite time for loop is.
No, it is infinite. Let's check. Compile it and run it. This is executing continuously. Okay, so output get displayed infinite time. Yes, correct. Now my question is, if I don't write in, if you write 0, then 0. If you write 0, then what is the output?
Null.
Nothing will print.
Nothing will print on the text mode window. Yes, great. It is similar to previous one. Now means 0 means nothing get displayed, and any non-zero value minus 78. Minus 78. What get displayed on the console?
Infinite time display, sir. Hello.
Yes, any non-zero value is treated as a true, and if it is treated as a true, then it enters to the body of for loop. Again, it goes to the reinitialization. There is nothing, so it check the condition. If condition is again true, then again execute. So it also compile and run infinite time. Hello get displayed. Okay, great. Now my question, main tricky question. If I don't write anything, what is my question? If I don't write anything, then what is the output of this code?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Only print hello.
Only
Print hello.
once. Only once.
Only once.
Okay. Any other answer?
Sorry, infinite
nothing
times.
will print. Sir, nothing will print.
Infinite times hello.
Okay. Let's compile it, and there is no syntactical error. Then run it. What is the output?
Infinite
time. Because there is no condition. No condition means there is an entry. If on the gate there is no watchman, then directly we have to enter into that apartment, whatever may be. Okay, there is no one in on the gate to examine you or to check you. Yes, great. Now,
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, there is no any condition. That means it's considered as 0 or not?
Not considered as a 0. That's why you have to learn grammar also, logically as well as grammatically. So there is no 0. Nothing is written here. Here, if there is no 0, means it is a open. Okay, not 0 or any non-zero value or negative value, then it is open. It directly enters. That is the grammar for the for loop. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now my question is, I have removed the semicolon, then what happens? Or I have removed both semicolons, then what happens? Anyone guess what is the output?
Infinite hello,
Error.
sir.
Sir, error.
Error.
Okay, so
Error.
so it is a compilation time error, because for loop, what is the constraint? Initialization, semicolon, condition, semicolon. Yes, semicolon 2 times required. Otherwise, it gives you error. Okay, one time. If it is one time, then also it is gives the error. That means how many times semicolons are required 2 times. That is syntax. Okay. So always I have told you that you have to write syntactically correct, then decide the body of that loop, and then decide the conditions. Understood, guys? In this way,
Yes.
we have to solve the problems. Okay. So we'll take the example how to solve the problems, but I hope you understand. If there is null, okay, no problem, but semicolon is required because it is a syntactical notations for the for loop. If there is nothing, yes, you have to leave it as it is, no problem. Then it is executed infinite time. We have checked that also. Now my question is, while loop and there is no condition, then what happens?
Sir, again there is a synthetical error, sir, because while we put the condition there.
No, but there is
No,
syntactical,
sir.
everything is
Infinite.
syntactical. As per previous knowledge, that is for loop, how it is executed. If there is no condition part, then it is executed infinite time. There is no syntactical error. But here, let's check. Compile. Oh no, it gives you error. Expected expression before parenthesis token. This is a token. Okay. So parenthesis token require the expression, that is condition. Understood? So while
Right.
loop, do while loop, we cannot empty the parenthesis because there is a condition must, expression must. That is the grammar.
So that's
But
why,
in
sir,
the
there is a error.
for
no, sir?
loop, in the for loop, for the condition, it is not necessary. You can not, if you don't write any condition, then it is treated as there is nothing in the for loop condition part, then it enters into the for loop. Okay. Similar for do while. Do while, and in the parentheses we cannot write anything. After that semicolon is there. After that semicolon is there. Okay. Yes. So what is the output of this program?
Yeah.
Yes, what is the output of this program?
Error.
Sorry,
Error.
error, sir.
What?
Error.
Error. Yes, it is a error. So compile. Yes, it gives you error. Great. No, one thing is removed. Do. There is, after do there is no parenthesis. So here is a syntactical error because expected expression before parenthesis token. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. So
Hello, sir. You are not audible.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, audible, sir.
Okay, so first I is equal to 10. What is the I is equal to 10? Then there is no initialization, directly condition I, and I left shift by 1. So what is the output, expected output of this program? Left shift means what? I will explain that part first. Left shift. Left shift. This is a bitwise operator. Left shift operator is a bitwise operator. If suppose this is decimal 10. So what is 1010? This is binary. So what is this is binary number 1010. Means initial this zeroth value is 0, this 2, then 0, 4, but it is 0 means it is considered. So what is the decimal value of 1010? 10. What is the decimal value of 1010?
10.
10. Okay. If you add one more 0, this is binary number. This is binary number, and we have to write its decimal. Now what is the 20? What is the, if you convert this binary number into decimal, okay, so its equivalent value is 20, or 20 we can represent like 10100. Okay, understood? So left shift operator, what it has to do, it has shift the bits. If 20 number is there in your variable, it first convert it into binary, and if it left shift, okay, so if we left shift it, so what
Hello,
happened?
sir.
Yeah.
Please, can you repeat again?
Okay. What is the equivalent of 20? 20 is a decimal value. Its equivalent binary value is 10100. Okay. Or if 1010 means its equivalent decimal value is 10. So 10 is represented 1010 in binary format. So if you left shift, okay, so left shifting from here, so left means this and right means this. So if we shift bit like 1 0 1 and 0, okay, by left means this side, so shift 1 into left, 0 1 0, and add next 0 to the here, so it becomes 10100. That means its value is 20. What is the value of this? 20. So I will explain it here so you can understood it. Suppose hash include stdio.h int main, then initial value of int a is equal to 10. This is decimal value. Okay, now I will shift it integer b. B is equal to a left shift by 1 bit. This is called as how many bits we have to shift a variable. So a initial value of a is 10. 10 means what is the represented binary representation? 1010. So we want to shift it left by 1 bit. So shift left. Left means here. We have to shift here. Okay. So 1 minute. Hold on. Yes. Okay. So yes, am I audible? Yes, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
audible.
sir.
Okay. So this is 1010. This is the binary representation of 10. Okay. So B, initial value of B is null, then left shift, then what is the value of B then? Printf value of B. B is equal to percentage D. So what is the value of B? Right, return 0. So A variable, we have to shift it by 1 bit to the left and add 0 and from the right side. That means it is shifted. So
Hello,
what
sir.
is the
Sir.
value? It
Sir.
becomes, yeah.
Sir, maybe this is a right shift, sir. You use symbol.
No. 1 minute. I will show you. This is not right shifting. It is left shifting. Okay. Okay. So this is called as right shifting, right? Left shifting. Why it is called? Suppose 1 0 1 0. This is binary representation of 10. Left. This is the left side. This is the left side, and this is called as right side. Okay. Left shifting means what? This one we have to shift to the next bit. So it goes to here. Then 0 goes to here. Then first one goes to here. Then 0. And lastly 0 is added. Understood? Where bits get shifted? 1010. Where it's shifted from the left side. So it is called as left shifting. Understood? Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is called as left shifting operator. Then what is the value of B now? If we shifted and assigned to the B, then value of A becomes now what? 20.
20.
And yes, 20. So 20 is displayed. Okay, just check it whether it gives you correct output or not. B is equal to, yes, it gives you what? 5. Yes, it gives you 5. Okay, operator we have choose is different. Okay, this is left shifting. Okay, understood guys? This is left shift and previously right shift. This operator is right shift. This is left shift. This is the left shift operator. So now understood what happens? Its value. Now check again. If left shifting is there, then compile and run, it becomes 20. Why it gives you such type of syntactical error? Because there is no comment. Okay, so write comment properly. Okay, so what is the value of B? 20. Understood? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is a left shift operator. If it is left shift, then it increase the value of A by 2 times. Means whenever you add, if 10100 and more 0 we have add at the right, means it is shifted to the left. So what is the value becomes now? 40. Check it. Its binary, its decimal representative is 40. That means if you increment, if you shift it by 1 bit, again 1 bit like this, then its value get double. Okay, so if it is right shift, then it is divided, whatever may be the number, 10 divided by what value? 5. So now if it is right shift, then it gives you 5. Compile and run. So it gives you value 5. Okay, if you shift it by 2 bits means we have to divide 10, initial value of 10, we have to divide it by 4, means 2 raised to 2. How many bits we have to shift it? 2. So general formula is your number divided by 2 raised to n. N means here how many bits we want to shift. If you shift by 2 bits means 2 raised to 2 means 4. Initial number is 10. 10 divided by 4. It becomes what? 2.5. Yes? 2.5. But it displayed only 2, not decimal value. Let's check. It gives the value only 2. Yes, guys. Hope you understand.
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes. So shorthand notation for that, equal and less than, we have directly write like this. So what is the meaning of that? Now tell me, there is no variable a. What happens here? A is equal to a right shift by 1 bit or right shift by 2 bit. Okay. So a is equal to a right shift by 2 bits. Okay. So print A here, not B. A. Okay. So what is the value of A now? A's initial value is 10. Right shift by 2 bits means 2 raised to 2 means 4 means 2. It remains 2. Yes, A's value is 2. Guys, hope you understand. This is a shorthand notation. This is the expanded form of this shorthand notation. Understood the expanded form? And what is the meaning? Left shift and right shift? Yes?
Yes, sir.
If left, same. Now tell me, what is the output? What is the output? Tell me, what is the output? Initial value of A is 10. A is equal to A, left shift by 2 bits. Then what is the output of this program?
14.
14. Yes. Just check, compile and run. Yes. That means it multiplies. What is the common formula? Number multiplies by 2 raised to n, and where n is the number of bits we want to shift. So if it is 2, then 2 raised to 2 means 4, and your number is 10. 10 into 4, that is 14. Correct answer. Now tell me the output of this program. It is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me the output then. This is there is no initialization, then this is a condition, that is reinitialization. Reinitialization is okay, right shift by 1. Right shift by 1 means it is divided. Value of I is divided.
5.
Amol get displayed how many times?
5.
5. Okay, any other answer? First compile it. If there is syntactical error, no, then run it. So Amol get displayed on how many times? 4 times. 4 times. Because initial value of I is equal to 10. 10 means entry to the loop. Amol is get displayed. Then it check the reinitialization. That means 10 becomes 5 here. Now I's value is 5. Okay, after right shifting by 1 bit means understood 10 divided by 2. What is the value? 5. So 5. That 5 value is assigned to whom? I. Next condition checking. I value 5 means true. Then once Amol is get displayed. So Amol is get displayed 2 times. Then again 5 divided by 2. What it becomes? 2. 2.5? No, just 2. Okay, that value is assigned to the I. Then 2. Okay, correct. true, condition true, a mole. Then it displayed a mole third time. Then condition check, then reinitialization 2 divided by 2. What is the value? 1. So 1, it is true. Then it displays a mole 4 times. Okay, again 1 divided by 2, because this reinitialization is there. 1 divided by 2 is equal to 0. And if I becomes 0, that means false, and it exit from this loop. So how many times mole is displayed?
4 times.
4 times. So there is a lots of combinations of different operators. So you know the meaning of these proper operators. Then it is very easy to find out the output. I hope you understand. Let's move to the next point. Already we have covered lots of objectives. So which one is remaining? Okay. This is also over. Yes, over. Okay. Next, most important part, because it is most important, break statement. Switch case and break statement. Okay. So we will.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, what is the application of shift operator, left shift or right shift, sir?
Yes, it is. These are the bitwise shifting operator. Which type of operator these are? These are binary operators and bit shifting operator. Bitwise, they works on the bits. So lots of your electronics parts and devices, there this is used. Then compression of the data compression techniques. Okay, so if 1 GB data we have to compress into the 15 MB like this. So in the compression techniques also we have to find the bits, and depending on the bits we can compress. If there is same pattern, then we have to compress our data. So there are lots of then your system level software also there is, they are used. Okay.
Okay, thank
Understood?
you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Next, now switch case. Before that, just I will show you this complex one. I have removed some conditions and take simple one first. So switch case, we have know that switch is the keyword. Then we have to write expression here, not any condition type, just expression, and like this. But every switch case having break, which is the combination of switch case and break. Break is required. So break. After default, there is no need to write break. Okay. Now, initial value of I is equal to 0. Then what is the expected output of this program? Tell me first. Only the output is print value of I. So initial value of I is equal to 0. So how switch case is executed? I. This is the value of expression 0, and it's compare this value, expression value, with the case values. Okay. If it is match, then that case get executed, and break statements break the switch case. Understood? In any other type of branching statements, like if else, nested, ladder, we cannot use break statement, but only in the switch we have to use break statements. So actually switch case, this statement is on the boundary of branching and looping, because it finds some constraint of the looping as well as branching. So it is a combination. Okay. So let's tell me what is the output. 0 get matched with the 0 case. So expected output is I is equal to plus equal, means I is equal to, this is shorthand notation, I is equal to I plus 5. That is the meaning. So initial value of I is equal to 0, 0 plus 5, 5. So expected output is 5. Is that correct? Okay. lots of time what happens, this type of errors occurs. Int, okay, this is different. This is due to copying of the code, and if that copying text is not compatible with this text inside this IDE, then this type of errors occurs. Tray 24 in the program. This is not actually syntactical, but so how to remove it? Either you can copy it properly, okay, and check whether this text font is same. Okay, so now this type of error occurs. So what I have to do, I have to just create new source file, because it is not supported text format, stdio.h. Okay, then int main. Yes, now switch case. So switch, suppose there is a condition based on I, okay, case 0, yeah, no problem. Case 0, it contains what? I is equal to, or I plus equal to 5. Okay, and break. Then case 2, case 1 contains same statements, but value is different. Suppose 10. Last statement, that is default contains also increment the I by 20. Okay, so this is the switch case. Suppose I give some spaces, 3 cases, case 0, case 1 and default case, and this is switch, and I have initialized the value of int I is equal to 0. Okay, so if integer I is equal to 0, after that I have to printf value of I, means I is equal to %d comma I. Okay, and last statement is return 0. Okay, same code. Okay, so compile it. There is no such type of errors. Okay, understood, guys? Yes, if you see that same code, but it gives you due to the fonts and other constraint which is not supported to that dev C++ IDE. Understood, guys?
Sir. Yes. Suppose in case there is a indentation or a default space, then there will be an error, sir.
Not. It is not in the C language, but in the Python, indentation is very most important because there is no curly brackets. Okay, so scope is decided on the based on the indentation. Okay, but here it is not. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now what is the output? Expected output. I's initial value is 0, so 0 is matched. So I is equal to I plus 5 means actually it becomes 5. So what is the expected output of this code? 5. Yes.
5.
Correct. Simple one. Now if value of I is 2, then what is the expected value of I? 2 is not matched with the case 0, 1, directly it goes to the default, and I is equal to I plus 20 means
22.
22. Yes. So just compile and run and check. Yes, it gives the correct output. Yes, everyone agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Now, question is that I have removed the break statement. I have removed the break statement. Okay, from each and every case, I have removed the break statement, and now I initial value is 0. So what is the expected output of this code? Okay. This is case 4.
Error.
Sir, it will add. It will add.
So what is the output? I becomes what?
So there is a error, sir.
35.
Error. 1 minute. Compile. Is there any error? No error, no warning.
So,
Okay.
but there is a sir, syntax error, na, sir. The break statement is not there.
No, no. That is not the syntactical error. Anywhere there in the grammar, there is no written that switch case. Switch case is there, but switch case having compulsory, you have to write break. It is not written. Okay. So it is not the syntactical error.
Okay.
First case. So that's why there is no error and no warning is also there. Now, what is the output of this program? So initially
Sir,
I
it is 35.
equal to 0. Then
35.
yes, first what happens? It becomes 0. I is equal to I plus 5 means 0 plus 5. It becomes 5. Okay. Now this same 5 is added here I, and this, if there is no break, then what happens? If 0 is matched here, then this case is executed, this case is executed, and in last default case is also executed. So what is the value? There 5 plus 10 means it becomes 15. Now same value of I, current value of I 15 is applicable here. So what happens? 15 plus 20. So now it becomes 35. Let's check whether it gives the correct output or not.
Put also in comment, sir.
Comment line is
Comment.
required. Yes, great. Now check. What is the output? 35. Yes, this type of question is also asked in the GATE questions. Okay, GATE exams also. Yes, you understood the meaning. If there is no break, then all the cases are executed from where this is 0 is matched. Now tell me what is the output. If I is equal to 1, what is the output of this code?
30, sir.
36.
What?
31.
30.
36.
Okay, just check it. 30 or 31.
31, sir.
Okay, so why it is 31?
Because I is 1.
I is 1. So 1 plus 10, 11. 11 plus 20, 31. Now what is the rule? From where this condition expression is matched with the case value, from that point of view, that point, all the below cases get executed. This case is not executed.
Sir,
Understood?
Sir,
If
2 minutes.
2 is there. Huh? Yes?
Sir, I is equal to 1, then goes to case 0. There is a
No,
5
no.
plus
1 is not matched with 0. So comparison is false. So it goes to the next.
Okay, sir. Okay,
So
sir. Okay.
I1 is matched with the 1. So this case is matching. So it executes the body of case 1, but there is no break. So it executes the another. Till break, this case 1 does not got the break statement till that it is executes the bodies of another cases. Understood?
Okay,
Now let's check. There is lots of questions, so that's for that purpose grammatically you have to know everything about that particular constraint. Now I think, hope you understand. So if I is equal to 2, tell me what is the output immediately.
22.
What?
22.
22.
22.
Yeah, just compile and run, and we have to, it's 22. Yes, great. Because only I match, 2 is matched with 0, 1, no matching, so it executes default. Default is executed when no case is matching. Okay, so it is 22. Guys, hope you understand all this constraint.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I will put break here, just for your understanding purpose, and initial value of I is equal to 0, tell me what is the output of this program.
15, sir.
15, sir.
15?
Yes, sir.
Yes, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Compile and run. So it is 15. Great. Because this case 0 is matched with this, so it executes the body of case 0 first, then case 2 also, case 1 also, but here it got the break, so it default case is not executed. Okay, understood? If there is any type of problems based on this switch case, you have to give the answer of that. Now, next thing. Suppose float I is equal to 1.0, and cases I have changed 1.0, 1.1 case and default case. Okay, so what is the output of this program?
$35.0, sir.
35.0. 35, same, 35.0. Just first compile. It gives you syntactical error. Switch quantity, not an integer, because whenever we write the expression inside the switch, this expression I, that expression must be integer or it is single character or it is a string, but it does not float type value. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Switch case does not support float point value. Note that. Clear? Yes, if there is any string or character, it is valid. Single quote, string is in the single quote, then it is valid. A, B, default. Okay. And here, data type of that case is char, I, and character, if it is character, is B. Tell me, what is the output of this program then? This B is matched with the B, then 10. What is the output? Yes.
10B.
10 plus B means what? Just compile and run. If it is give correct output, yes. I is equal to minus 128. Okay. So what is this B? Its ASCII is considered, and after that ASCII, it is get added. Okay. So this is not the case, but what I have to tell that it is match. Character is allowed, string is allowed, or integer is allowed, but float does not allowed in switch case. You have to write break statement if there is no break till that body of cases get executed. But from what? If the matching case, from matching case onwards. Understood, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so hope you understand. Next, move to the next part. Great. So almost objective types, that is main points, and GATE exam. At the time of GATE exam, they asked the many questions on the C language. So we almost cover that part. And companies also asked in the similar way. You have to thoroughly good knowledge of the C language. Okay. So next part is we have take one program and we have to add the conditions, more and more conditions on that, and how to apply that. So I have take one problem statement, implement a program to check the entered number is prime or not. So we have to write the code for that. So what is the problem statement? What is the problem statement? I will just copy that problem statement. Okay. So implement a program to check the entered number is prime or not. So I think everyone knows what is the definition of the prime number. So what is the prime number? Yes, what is the meaning of prime number?
Every number is divisible by that number.
If any number is divisible by 1 and that number only,
Yes, by
then that
itself and
number
by
is
one.
called as prime number. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So always remember, whenever you have write the logic, what is the definition? As per that, you have to implement the code. So what is the expected output? First, printf. We want to enter any number, so enter any number. That means take the number from the user. Yes. After that, scanf percentage d, that is integer type, comma, ampersand of num. So when you use the num variable, this is must be declared. Num is declared. Now, as per the definition, what is the first definition? If any number is divisible by 1 and itself, means that same number only, then and then that number is a prime number. But guys, there are some laggings. Only keyword is not in the C language. So as per the definition, if that number, given number is stored in the num variable. So if num mod of num is equal to 0. Now, what is the use of mod operator and division operator? So mod operator gives you reminder, while division operator gives you quotient. So division operator gives you quotient, while the mod operator gives you reminder. So if reminder is 0, means that number is divisible by completely, means 5 divided by 5. Then what is the reminder? 0. So it is matching. And an operator. Num mod of 1. If it is equal to 0, yes, then. But there is one keyword. What is the keyword here? Only. So how to write only here? This is not possible. How to write only? We cannot write only here, because if that number is divisible by itself, means num, or 1, then and then only. Divisible means its mod operator, modulus, gives the remainder 0, then and then only it is a prime number. But here only is most important word, but we cannot write only. How to write only? We cannot write only in this way. This is not a keyword in the C language, so we cannot write like this. So we have to think on different way. Same definition, but in different way. We remove the only from that definition. So how to remove the only? That means if we divide the number from 2 to number minus 1, if we divide that number from 2 to number minus 1, and that number is not divisible by any of these numbers, for example, 5 is the number, so divides 5 from 2 to 4. And if the division does not give the 0 remainder, that means 5 is the prime number. Guys, understood? Yes. As per the first definition, we have to write the only, code for the only, but it is not possible. So what we have to think in different way. Same definition. What is if, because we know that every number 7, 8, every number is divisible by itself and 1. But when only is the condition. If 6 is there, for example, 6 is the number, so it is divisible by 1 itself, 2, 3, and 6 itself. So each and every number is divisible by 1 and 6, but not only. Only is the condition. If only, then it is a prime. but 6 is divisible by 1, 2, 3 and 6 also. So it is not a prime number. But 5, yes, 5 is a prime, because when we divide it by 5, it is only 1, it is divisible, 2, 3, 4, no, and directly 5. Understood? Yes. So 5 is a prime. Yes, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So that means we have to change our definition like this. Whenever you write any code, you have to first decide what is the logic, what is the meaning, what we have to do. So what is the meaning? Num. Num is the number. Suppose user enters 5, 10, anything. So we have to check. So if we have to check num mod. Now mod range from where to where? 2 to num minus 1. 2 to num minus 1. We don't know which number user enters. So 2 to num minus 1. So here we have to check from 2 to num minus 1 and take the mod and check whether it is equal to 0. If it is 0, then directly we have to say that printf number is not prime. Yes, we have directly said that number is not prime, because if number mod from 2 to num minus 1 and it's anything, suppose 2, 3, 4 in between, it's equal to 0, that means number is not prime. If it is not 0, then and then only it is prime. Okay, then and then only it is prime. But guys, syntactically we have write like this in C language, from 2 to num minus 1. Yes, because we want to divide that number from 2, then 3, 4. Suppose user enters, I have take one value, user enters 7, then from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till 6 we have to divide the num and check what is the remainder if it is 0. Okay, but it is not possible in C language. Instead of that, we have to take one variable, suppose I is the range. So for that you have to use any loop. For initial value of I is equal to 2, condition, what is the condition? I less than equal to till num minus 1, till we have to check num minus 1. Then what is the reinitialization? I plus plus, means here we have to take variable and make the constraint. So put it and paste inside the for loop. Now it is same meaning. Num we have divide from 2 to num minus 1 and check whether it is equal to 0. Guys, understood? Don't mug the code. Lots of times student mugging the code. No need. You have not mugged the code. You have to implement it. Understood? As per our logic. Yes, till this you have understood. Now,
Yes,
if number, if divided by from 2 to num minus 1, means it is a iterative part. So same statement, if you want to execute repeatedly, use the loop. Now, when we find that number is a prime, after end of this for loop, suppose for example 5 is a prime number. So if 5 we have to divide it from 2, 3, 4, the loop get executed and exit. After that only we have to know that number is not prime. When we know the number is, otherwise lots of students write if, again directly here they write else, otherwise it is a prime number. No, otherwise it is not a prime number, but because 6 is there or 9 is there, 9 divided by mod by 2. What is the answer? Different, not a 0. But 9 is not a prime number because it is divisible by 3. So directly from 2 to n number minus 1, we have to must divide and check whether the remainder is 0. If remainder is 0 between that, then it is a number is not prime, surely. And if this for loop is executed, for example, 5, we have divided from what? 2, 3, 4, but not divisible by these numbers. So remainder is not a 0. So condition is not matched. So if that for loop is terminated, then we have decide that it is a prime number. So what is the condition? So we can decide the condition afterwards. And then body of loop. What is the body of loop? Printf number is prime. Okay. What is the, if the loop is executed and terminated when value of I becomes I is equal to num, then it is a number is prime. Because why we decide the condition? If loop is terminated, at that time value of I become num, similar to num. When 5, when it is incremented and I becomes 5, so 5 less than 4, num minus 1 means 4, then it condition false and you terminate it. But before that, we have to use one statement, that is break. Because if number is prime, not prime. Okay. For example, 6, when we divide by 2, it is necessary. Then it is, what is the remainder? 0. So 6 is not a prime number. So when then we need to divide it further. Yes, guys. If 6 is divisible by 2, then no need to divide by 3, 4, and 5. Because 6 is divisible by 2 itself. So why to divide it? For that purpose, we have to break the loop. Okay. But if it is not divisible by 5 is not divisible by 2, 3, 4, then this loop gives you num value as a 5 and I also incremented to 5, and then it is terminated. Then you have to tell that it is a prime number. Okay. So I will explain in different ways. First check whether it gives you correct answer or not. Compile and run. Yes, we have not declared value I. Compile. Okay, enter any number. Suppose 5, number is prime. Great. Again check it for different number. 6 is not prime. Number is not prime. So this code works fine. Yes, guys, understood? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is first way, but this is not a good way because its efficiency, code efficiency of this program is very less. Because if we know the number is prime before, so what we have to do here, instead of this, if the condition, if you don't know this condition, this is logical condition, then always use flag method. Flag. Okay. So what is the use of flag? Here you have to take the flag as a variable. Initial value is 0. If number is not prime, he enters it to this if branching statement and flag is set to the 1 and then break. So here we have no need to write this condition. Instead of that, we have to write if flag is equal to 0. If flag is equal to 0 means runtime cursor does not enters into this if. Okay, flag is remains as it is 0, then that number is prime. That is called as flag setting method, and it is very essential. So let's check 6. 6 is a number is not prime. Then compile and run. 7 number is a prime. So here the necessity of that to find which condition we have to write. The simple one is the flag setting. If there is only two outputs, either prime, not prime, Armstrong, not Armstrong, like this. So everywhere we have to use flag method. So what happens? Initial flag is 0. If number is not, I will debug and show you. Okay. Before that, first compile it. Then I will give the toggle breakpoint here and then debug. Okay, so enter the number. So I will take small number 5. I know 5 is a prime number. Press enter. Okay, go to the next line. So add the watch, I is equal to 2. Remove this. Okay. Remove. Clear all. And add the watch for num, variable I, flag. Okay. So initial value, now num, we have entered a value 5. Initial value of I is equal to 2. Now let's move next line. Okay. Now what is the num? Num becomes 5. That remains same. I, we have to divide now 3. 5 mod of 3. It gives you what? 2. Reminder as a 2. And that is not matching. So it gives again increment. I incremented by 1. Next line. I incremented. So it becomes 4. 4 less than equal to num minus 1. Num minus 1 is 4. So condition true. Then again it enters to the next. Again it checks I is equal to 5. Now it becomes 5. When I click in the next line, I becomes 5. 5 less than equal to 4. Condition false. So it goes to the next line. If flag, what is the value of the flag? Because cursor does not enters to this body of if. Because 5 is prime, so it does not enter. So flag remains 0. So what is the condition? Flag is equal to 0. And condition is true. So it get number is prime. Next line. Stop the execution. Guys, hope you understand this type of logical problem statements, how we can write it. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. These are lots of logics are required for this solving these types of problems. Now I have also make it very efficient one, because what we have to do for that type of problems, we have to solve in another way also. What is the another way? That is definition. If any number having two factors, if any number having two factors, then that number is prime. So this is another way of thinking. So what is the prime number? If any number having two factors, for example, what is the meaning of that? 5 number having two factors, 1 and 5 only. So 5 is a prime. 6 number having factors. What is the factors? Means it's reminder. If we divide 6 by this 1, 2, 3, then it gives you reminder 0. So factors are reminder is 0. So factors are 1, yes, 2, yes, 3, yes, and 6. So how many factors are there? 6 number having how many factors? 4. How many factors are there? 6 number having 4 factors. So 6 is not a prime number. Similarly, 9. 9 number having factor 1, yes, 2, no, 3, yes, then 4, no, 5, no, 6, 7, no, 8, no, directly 9. So 9 number having how many factors? 3. So 9 is also not a prime number. Understood the guys? Different definition of the same problem statement, that is prime. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how we can implement it? So for that, how to implement it? This is different logic. So how to increment it? If num mod of I, then you have to make count here. What is the CNT? Count is equal to count plus 1. That is how many factors are there. This variable is there. So use CNT is equal to, initially it is 0. Okay, so no need to write break and flag. First count how many factors that num variable having. So same thing, we have to calculate the factors from not 2, from now 1 to num. We have to divide that number from 1 to num, means 1, 2, 3, 4 all, and find out how many factors are there. Factors means when we divide that number by 1, its remainder is 0. That is called as factor. So count the factors. Okay, and if equal to 2, exactly 2, then that number is a prime. Else print number is not prime. Let's check it whether it gives correct output or not. Enter any number. 6. Number is not prime. Correct. 7. Yes, number is prime. Correct. Guys, this is another way of writing code. We have calculated the number of factors of particular number. If number having only 2 factors, then that number is called as a prime. Based on that definition, we have to write the code. Guys, understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's time for exercise. You have to implement a program to display prime numbers between 1 to 200. This is first. And implement the program to display the prime numbers between 2 to 200. And whose first digit is prime number. First digit in that prime number is 3. Means what? Means what is the meaning? So first 3 is the first number, then 13 is the second number, like this. That is number, first digit is 3. Understood? I will show you what is the output. Prime numbers between, okay. So these are the prime numbers. Okay, so only find the prime numbers whose first digit is 3. That is 3, 13, 23. Okay, then 53, 83, like this. You have to display between 1 to 100. That is the second. So okay, so these are the problem statements. I will write in the chat window. Yes, chat window is visible to everyone. Yes.
No, sir. No,
Chat
sir.
not visible. Just check in your chat. Yes, Ashutosh, is it visible?
Sir, we don't have access to chat window.
Okay. So I will. Okay. So let's check after because second session we will take some problem solving.
Sir, you can come back and let us make a screenshot.
Sir, you can send it on WhatsApp group all.
Okay, but what there are number of staffs are also there, so they are disturbed. Okay, I will share it on the Moodle itself. Okay, okay, no problem. Okay, I will show you afterwards. We will solve that problem statements. Okay, so I will open that list so you can understand the problem statement. It is visible now. Yes.
sir.
So there are
Yes,
on the
sir.
prime number, we have make one condition more. So first program is based on prime number. Take any number from the user and find it is number is prime. Then display the prime numbers between 100 to 200. Then display the prime numbers between 1 to 200, but whose first digit is 3, started with 3, like 3, 13, etc. This is the output, expected output. Okay. So next is a calculate the number of prime numbers between 1 to 200 and display it on the console. So this is the more favorite question of the interview time. They are asked and add the conditions more and more. And if you give the correct answers, then you got the selected. Okay. Understood, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we will stop here and we have joined next session at the 3 p.m. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.